Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 140, The Purpose of These Last Days. The podcast objectives are rehearse the command to endure sound doctrine, reveal how the Father will prepare the earth for the Millennial Kingdom, analyze the difference between the renewed earth and the new earth, and reveal the reward of those who inherit the renewed earth. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. Endure sound doctrine. Now, thus far in this series, we have spent 9 lessons laying a foundation for understanding end times. Although I could continue, the Father is leading me to move forward with the remaining 100 level courses, all of which have one central goal, namely this. All the 100 level courses are designed to help you readily understand the purpose, time, and signs surrounding the 7 seasons in these last days. Here again, these seasons are the restoration of the nation of Israel, the sealing of the set apart ones, the sifting of the nations, the destruction of Mystery Babel, the day of Yahuwah, the restoration of the land of Israel, and the battle of Armageddon. Now, analyzing these 7 seasons will be the focus of this series. Accordingly, these leading lessons must provide you with the foundation for understanding these 7 seasons. Now, the first part of this equation was simply establishing a foundation of truth, which we have done conceptually and with no shortage of scriptural evidence. From now, the Father has led me to analyze some of the more prominent false doctrines concerning the end times, contrasting them against the foundation of truth we have laid. In doing so, we are not focusing on the error per se. On the rather, we must expose the error to ensure we are not holding on to it. Here is why this is important. If you are holding on to error, willfully or ignorantly, it will prevent you from understanding, receiving, and accepting the truth. Therefore, the Father has led me to address some of these errors before we execute a deep dive into the 7 seasons in these last days. After which, those who are willing to throw these errors away will continue with me as we move on to the next level of courses. Here we have our first major dividing line in this end time series. And I assure you, it will not be the last. My advice to you is simply to stick with the word of truth and endure sound doctrine. To prepare the earth. Now, the ideal place to start this exposition is with purpose. If you recall, purpose is the first of 3 requirements on every factual end times event. This requirement reveals why the Father has called for specific events to occur in these last days. Here's a question. What is the purpose of these last days? Hint, we answer this question in the most recent podcast? The answer: the purpose of these last days is to prepare the earth for the reign of Yahushua Messiah, 1,000 years of peace and goodwill toward man. Now, the key phrase in this answer is to prepare the earth. This is important to understand because the millennial kingdom will be established on the earth. And thus, this earth must go through various degrees of physical and spiritual renovation. Isaiah 65, 16 through 17. The former distresses shall be forgotten. They shall be hidden from my eyes. For look, there will be the renewed heavens and the renewed earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come to heart. You send forth your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the earth. Psalm 104:30. New earth, the renewed earth. Now, depending on which version of the Bible you are using, you may not gather that the earth will be renewed. Alas, most Bible versions simply use the word new, along with the word create, suggesting Isaiah is referring to the new heavens and the new earth. Here, we are not talking about a post-renovation earth. Quite the contrary. We are talking about a brand new earth that will appear after the current earth has been destroyed with fervent heat. And this will occur prior to eternity. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of Yahuwah shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it shall be burned up. Revelation 21:1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. Now it's time to rightly divide. The scriptures portray two unique phases of the earth: a renewal of the earth that we are currently on, and the institution of a new earth 1,000 years after this renewal. Textually, we can prove there are two remaining phases of the earth using the ABP, that is, the Apostolic Bible Polyglot. Now, the ABP reveals the earth would be recently renewed, per Isaiah, as opposed to recently made, per Peter and John, prior to the millennial reign. We can further prove this matter textually by considering the remainder of Isaiah 65, which reveals there will still be death in the earth. Granted, we will live longer lives once the earth has been renewed, but we will still die. See Isaiah 65:20. This matter proves Isaiah is not talking about the new heavens and the new earth, for these have been reserved for those who will inherit everlasting life, the key word being everlasting. In effect, there will be no more death. Revelation 21:3-5. And I heard a loud voice from the heavens saying, see, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim. And Elohim shall wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, nor mourning, nor crying, and there shall be no more pain, for the former matters have passed away. And he who was sitting on the throne said, see, I make all matters new. And he said to me, write, for these words are true and trustworthy. This is further evidence that there are two remaining phases of our earth: renovation and destruction. Thus, we rightly divide and conclude that the earth we are living on today will be renewed physically and spiritually prior to the establishment of the Millennial Kingdom. We further and rightly divide that this earth will be destroyed prior to the eternal future. And those who have been elected to the eternal kingdom of heaven will inherit a newly created earth where there will be no more death. With long life, I will satisfy. Now, here we have a timeline that shows the difference between the renewed earth and the new earth. And we're going to start here from the left and move to the right. So beginning here in 2023, we are here in these last days. And very soon, we will see the second coming of Yahushua Mashiach at the Battle of Armageddon. After this battle, we will see a renewal of the heavens and the earth. From that point in time, you're seeing here 1,000 years of peace on earth during the Millennial Kingdom. The key here is that this kingdom will take place on the renewed heaven and renewed earth. Now, after 1,000 years are over, you have the end of the world and the destruction of the elements. That is, the current heavens and the current earth that were renewed at the beginning of the kingdom of the millennial. From that point in time, there's a judgment, the great white throne judgment, where all matters are decided, where everyone will spend eternity. And from that point in time, we have the institution of the new heavens and the new earth, where the righteous elect will dwell with Yahuwah and Elohim for eternity. And here you have forever and ever and ever. Now, the key takeaway from this timeline is the link between the new heavens and the new earth and everlasting life. Remember, there will be no death after this point in time. However, there will be death in the Millennial Kingdom, for the renewal of the earth, as miraculous as it will be, will not completely eradicate the law of death. Here again, I am not saying this to pour cold water on the spiritual and physical renovation the heavens and the earth will go through prior to the Millennial Kingdom. Amazingly, the renewed earth will be similar to its origin, namely the Garden of Eden. This is especially the case for the land of Israel. Isaiah 51:3, for Yahuwah shall comfort Zion. He shall comfort all her waste places, for he makes her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of Yahuwah. Joy and gladness are found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of song. Ezekiel 36:35, and they shall say, this land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden, and the wasted, the deserted, and the destroyed cities are now walled and inhabited. This is precisely why mankind will once again begin to live long lives, similar to lives they lived prior to the flood. It's because nearly every factor that decreases the quantity of our years and the quality of our days will be eliminated once Elohim turns his mighty hand to renew the earth. Isaiah 65:20-24. No more is an infant from there going to live but a few days, nor an old man who does not complete his days. For the days of my people are going to be as the days of a tree, and my chosen ones outlive the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth children for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of Yahuwah, and their offspring with them. And it shall be, that before they call, I answer. And while they are still speaking, I hear. Therefore, if you're in search of a fountain of youth, this is the closest thing to it. If you're looking for a way to defeat the aging process, you have surely found it. All you have to do is build the ark he has ordained for you to save yourself and your house. For it is a microcosm of the secret place of the Most High. Then and only then will you hear the Father say, when he calls on me, I answer him. I am with him in distress. I show him my salvation, and with long life I will satisfy. Now, here is the final word. The plans the Father has for heaven and earth are the same plans he has for me and for you. In terrific fashion, Elohim will renew his chosen elect during the Millennial Kingdom. Here again, this extends to the quantity of our years as well as the quality of our days. And yet, he will not stop there, for his plans for us are eternal. Thus, we will also become new when this corruption puts on incorruption and this mortal puts on immortality. Now that you know his plans for us, the only question that remains is, what are your plans for you? And if you do plan on having everlasting life, you must never forget it's less about what you profess and more about what you do. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today and ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. Remember, where there is no conviction, there can be no faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please him. Next, if the Spirit is leading you and you have not signed up for our mailing list, you can go to www.transformationbytruth.com to sign up today. We'll alert you as soon as podcasts are posted, and we'll share our presentations, notes, and other materials at no cost. It is for your edification. And most importantly, you will be connected to me and those who have joined themselves to this ministry as we prophesy and align current events with the prophetic word. These discussions are taking place outside of this podcast ministry. Therefore, if the Spirit is leading you, and only if the Spirit is leading you, I encourage you to come and see. You will be in good spiritual company. Lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them via our contact form on our website. If you have any comments, please share those on the video page for this podcast, also on our website. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 140, the purpose of these last days. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 142, the wheat and the tares. I will post this podcast on Monday, May 1st, 2023. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.